Money Radio, thanks for joining us today, and joining us now, Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Sinclair.
Good to see you again.
It's good to be here.
Laura is an attorney. She's also a real estate agent. She's also a consumer advocate. She works in residential, commercial, land transactions, and really as a real estate agent and also as an attorney specializing in real estate, someone could get legal representation on their real estate deal at no extra cost sometimes.
Yes, that's true.
Or if they didn't start with you in the first place, you can help them out on straightening up the mess that somebody left behind.
Unfortunately, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know, because people don't know what they don't know.
Right.
They may very innocently think they're following the rules, and then they find out either halfway through the transaction or after it's closed that there's a problem.
Right.
And so that's a lot of the calls I get from people.
And people can call you at 480-624-2705, 480-624-2705, and you do answer your own phone.
I do.
Or an easy way to remember it, TalkRealEstateAZ.com. That's the website and has all the contact info. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Laura, last week we were talking about the due on sale clause on a deed of trust.
Yes.
And it makes perfect sense if you transfer the ownership interest to someone else, the mortgage then becomes due and payable.
Correct.
And that happens when a sale is made, for example.
Yes, right. That's why when you sell to someone else, you have to pay off your mortgage.
Right.
Right.
Makes perfect sense.
They can't just take it over except if your mortgage is assumable.
And then we talked about the idea that a lot of people will transfer from their name as an individual to an LLC for the protections that that provides,
Right.
particularly a landlord situation.
Oh yeah, it's very common to transfer property into an LLC.
But that's not covered.
It is not covered. Arizona used to permit it until the federal government preempted Arizona law by passing the Garn-St. Germain Act in 1982. And so technically, when you transfer your property into an LLC, you violate the due on sale clause in your mortgage, if in fact you have a due on sale clause, which the vast majority of mortgages do. So what do? That's the real issue. What do? And if you have a conventional lender, normally they'll send you a notice and give you time to transfer it back. But now you've lost your liability protection.
Right.
So I advise my clients to insure the property, you know, like an umbrella policy, especially if they have more than one property, because normally with an umbrella, you know, it covers more than one property.
Right.
And you want to increase your liability insurance because you don't have the coverage that you thought you had under the LLC.
Okay. Now, that's not the only example of when someone may transfer property. For example, a lot of people put property into the living trust.
That's permitted by this federal law, as long as you're the beneficiary of your trust.
Okay.
So that is permitted. The other
Which
thing
is typically the case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, as you're probably aware, property's transferred all the time as a result of divorce.
Sure.
You know, it could be in the name of both spouses and then it gets transferred to one of the spouses.
Mm-hmm.
That is an exception. That is permissible.
It is permissible.
It is permissible.
What about when someone dies and leaves the property to a spouse or a child?
Yes, that is an exception as well. If you die and you leave it to someone who's not related to you, that is not acceptable. That person has to get their own mortgage and pay off the mortgage of the person who died.
Okay, so it has to be family.
It has to be family, and these exceptions only apply to 1 to 4 family residences. So
You
if
start
you're
getting into rental property,
Yeah.
apartments.
Yeah, Then you have to look at your documents. If your documents have a due on sale clause, you have no exceptions.
Are you finding that this is causing problems for people with LLCs? Because I know a lot of people have rental properties and they put them into LLCs.
I find that it's causing problems with people who have a private lender, a hard money lender, or a small bank. Because they scrutinize what's happening more carefully. You know, the big banks, they don't bother to go into the public records and see whether title's been transferred. So as a practical matter, as long as you pay your mortgage, they leave you alone. That's really the truth of it. But that's why you have to, you want to cover yourself in more than one way if you can. Now, many commercial properties, because I do draft and review commercial documents, sales and leases, it's very common for a commercial lease or sales contract to be in the name of the LLC. And then they add on a personal guarantee.
Okay.
So I don't see the problem as much in commercial because it's more commonly accepted that you purchase the property and get the loan in the name of the LLC.
But for a single residence, even if it's going to be used as a rental, a lot tougher to get that mortgage in the name of an LLC.
It is, yes, it's very tough unless you go outside the conventional world. And as you and I know, that's more expensive.
Yeah, typically.
However, you know, let's say you have an FHA loan. FHA loans are assumable. Now, they used to be assumable without qualifying. You could just take it over. But that rule has changed. You can assume the terms of the mortgage, which is it's either gonna become or is very popular now because we have low interest mortgages now.
Right.
You know, as rates climb, people with FHA mortgages are going to be in demand to sell their properties because FHA mortgages are assumable. And as a result, you can transfer title without paying off the loan, which means the due on sale clause is not the same in FHA mortgages. What you have to do if you buy a home with an FHA mortgage, you have to show FHA that you can qualify. But you get to assume the terms of that loan. So,
which can be really valuable.
yeah, so another way, let's say, to get around this is if you have an FHA loan and then, you know, you decide to move out and rent out your property, which is legal. You know, now you want to check your due on sale clause of your FHA documents because they may in fact permit you to transfer the property to an LLC. So there's nuances here that you probably need to have a lawyer review your documents to see where you fall under this rule. The other thing is that you can always ask your lender for consent. And a lot of times you don't get an answer, but it's worth looking into that.
Okay, I know a great lawyer who can help with all this.
I'll be glad to help.
Laura Bramnick at talkrealestateaz.com. Talkrealestateaz.com. The phone number 480-624-2705. 480-624-2705. Talkrealestateaz.com. Great info. Thank you, Laura.
Thanks, Sinclair.